Okay, let's finish this. Okay? Let's finish this. Let me see if I can talk. Let me see if I need the light. I don't really need the light. Okay, let's finish this. That's why I switched my location so I can stand in front of. I'm out here in the hood in front of the one of the stores here. So now, what I want to do is I want to finish this. All right. I finished the last one too early. I miscalculated the time. I was letting them run. Let's go. Let's finish this. Let's go to Hosea 4:6. No. Let's do Deuteronomy chapter 5. Let's do Deuteronomy chapter 5. Let's start at verse 6. Okay? Deuteronomy, you know what? Before I go there, let me ask you a question, right? Now, many of you will not agree with what I'm about to say. Okay? But first, let's get a few things off the table. A lazy person will not eat. Let me say that again. A lazy person will not eat. Right? Nor can he or she feed their kids. Now, with that being said, however, I want you all to understand something. Should somebody be able to have the money to purchase a Bugatti? What are those Bugattis? $3 million, $4 million for a car? Let me explain to you all something about Sodom and Gomorrah. One of the reasons Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed was homosexuality. That was one of the reasons. Probably the main reason. But there was witchcraft going on in Sodom and Gomorrah also. But there was another reason that was almost as bad as the homosexuality and the witchcraft. There were people that were sitting along the streets of Sodom and Gomorrah starving. Not only that, it was of the customs of the cities to let those people starve. Those people were a mockery, and those people were a spectacle among the people of Sodom and Gomorrah. If somebody tried to feed the homeless, or if somebody tried to feed the starving, the person, if they got caught feeding the homeless, they were sentenced to death. Did you hear what I just said? In the streets of Sodom and Gomorrah, if you tried to give a starving person a morsel of bread or a morsel of meat, and you got caught by the authorities, or the snitches or the rats among the city that snitched and ratted to the authorities, you were put to death for doing that. There was people that told the authorities when somebody was feeding somebody who was dying from starvation. Sodom and Gomorrah had to go. But what you all need to understand is this so-called country, America, and every city within this country, America, gotta go too. See, now many of you walk around the concrete and you say, this is my neighborhood, this is my community. You have to understand that this neighborhood and this community does not belong to you. Us Negroes, we don't own it. Also, I think this rumor has been going around for some time now, which would explain why a lot of hatred is coming toward me. Because somebody told me today that they thought I was a real estate investor. That could be further from the truth. I am not a real estate investor. I am not in real estate. I understand why it can be confusing. But the houses that I'm fixing on is the houses that I'm giving to my family. There's only one place I was going to rent it, but I decided not to do that. I'm going to actually do something else with it. I'm not a real estate investor, but I could see where the confusion came in. And then I do believe that there's gossip and rumors going on about that as well. Well, let me tell you all, because I don't want to be looked at as something that I'm not. I'm not a real estate investor. Surprise. I never was. I'm just somebody that had an extra house. I'm not lying to you. I'm telling you the truth. I bought it when it was very cheap, when it was like $400, $500. And I'm just deciding to do something with it today. I'm not an investor. I'm not someone that goes around buying and selling. I'm not a big-time investor. I have a 9-to-5. So I'm sorry to disappoint you all. I'm so sorry. I can understand the confusion, though. Sometimes when I say I'm working and I'm doing that, and actually one of the places that I'm completely finished renovating now. I'm done. So my work is not going in vain. And then I moved a family member there. And then I just have another situation that I have to do some minor outside touching up and some minor inside touching up. And then I have that for another family member. That's the truth. I'm telling you the truth. So we don't want that gossip to continue, shall we? Because I don't want people to think I'm something that I'm not. Okay, I'm just the one that's doing the renovations. That's all, because I can't afford to hire these guys out here. These guys are too expensive. Okay, I'm not going to use credit for that. Some people say I have bad credit. It's not necessarily true, not necessarily. But I'm not going to use the credit for that. That's something I can do for myself. I can fix up my own places. I don't need anybody to help me. I'm not an investor. I promise you all. Okay? It's not something that I do. I don't really have the patience for that. I see people that do it, but I don't have the patience for it personally. Okay? So, but a lot of you would like to believe that, these places this is our neighborhood. This is your community. Okay? I need you all to understand that we are in the land of our captivity. Okay?
This is a test. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a test. 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's how people from Florida, they back all up on your bumper like that. The hell is wrong with this guy? A lot of people have been coming to this city thinking they hard knocks. Anyway, Deuteronomy chapter 5. Deuteronomy chapter 5. I'm going to start at verse 6. Deuteronomy chapter 5, I'm going to start at verse 6.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And it says, I am Yahuwah, your God. He's talking to black people.
1, 2,
Okay?
3, 4.
I am Yahuwah, your God, who brought you up out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. So he's telling us, see, the Old Testament is for our admonishment. The Old Testament is for our admonishment. A lot of you Christians think that the Old Testament is irrelevant. Maybe for salvation. It may be for salvation, but in many cases, many of you don't believe unless you go and delve into the Old Testament. That's why it's important as a teacher, you insert the Old Testament and the Apocrypha and the Lost Scrolls. You got to go from all angles, because some people, the New Testament isn't enough for them. And a lot of you all don't believe and have faith in the New Testament. Okay? So he's going to go ahead and say, I'm the one that brought you out of the land of Egypt. So this the Old Testament is for our admonishment. He says, you shall have no other gods before my face. You shall not make for yourself a carved image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or in the earth, or on the earth beneath, or that is in the water underneath the earth. You shall not bow down to them or serve them. For I am Yahuwah your Elohim. I am a jealous Elohim. I am a jealous God, he said. That word jealous is an ancient word, not the word jealous in its English language, but the concept of the word jealous here is ancient. It goes way back. So this is not a modern jealous is not a modern understanding. Now it's not the same like jealous as how a lot of these jealous and envious niggas and women out here are. Not jealous and envious like that. Then he's going to say, now, he says, I am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers on the children to the third and fourth generations of those who hate me. Visiting the iniquity, visiting the crimes, visiting the sins of the fathers on the children, the sins and the iniquities and the crimes of our fathers. He's visiting us right now, the descendants of our ancestors, of the third and fourth generation, those who hate me. Who are you all who hate him? Those of you in religion, those of you who say, I am. Who say, I am. He's going to say, but showing steadfast love to the thousands of those who love me and keep my commandments. Take not my name in vain, and such and such and such and such. This is a direct protocol from Christ. And our forefathers rejected this protocol. And if the prior people before you reject something, you will reject it. I want to go to Hosea 4:6. Okay? I need you to listen to this, okay? Hosea 4:6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because you have rejected knowledge. I reject you from being a priest to me. And since you have forgotten the law of your Elohim, I also will forget your children. See, the reason why we kept going through slaveries after this, we kept losing our children. In the slavery that allegedly started in 1619, people thought it was a new thing that the white man took our infants and threw them to the alligators. We have to understand something. Each and every one of those infants that were thrown to the alligators were chosen before the foundation of the earth to be food for those alligators. That's just the way it is. Just like Cain and Abel. Just like Abel, his whole purpose was to be slaughtered. Abel's whole existence was to be murdered by his brother Cain. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine existing just to be destroyed? Or just to be murdered? Some of you out there exist only to be murdered or killed. Some people are only brought into this planet, are only brought through the womb, only brought into the matrix to be a vessel of destruction. But who can say that Christ is not righteous, and who can stay his hand? Our people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. He said, because our forefathers didn't teach us the law and didn't teach us about the miracles of the Most High. Really, that's what he's talking about. Because he didn't teach them the miracles and the things that he did so that we can believe. That's the reason why a lot of our children after children after children after children to this day are non-believers. But we all need something to believe in, but we all choose the wrong thing to believe in. Many of you all are in a very dangerous space because many of you all believe, just like Abraham's father's Terah, he said, the God of my gods bless you. You're blessed by the God of my gods. So in other words, he truly believed in a higher power, but yet he believed in the correct Elohim. He did within his heart. It's nothing worse than knowing the truth and rejecting the truth. You're in a very dangerous spot when you know the truth. When the truth has been presented to you all in irrefutable, unambiguous evidence, and yet you tell yourself, you somehow convince yourself to believe otherwise. But not a psychiatrist, not a shrink can help you with that. Only belief. You all can say, hey, this person is diagnosed with a mental health problem. Says who? Says you? Who? Says the white man's knowledge, the so-called psychologist, the so-called physiologist that's dealing with your body, right? The so-called shrink, the so-called psychiatric people, the psych ward. It's all a gimmick. It's all a deception. Who are they to say that somebody is psychologically impaired? Who is any of you to tell somebody else that they're psychologically impaired? When a fool says within his heart, there is no God. Let's end this with a bang. Let's end this with a big bang scripture. It was going to be longer, but I said it's Saturday night. And I'm stacking this message against Saturday night, which I know is foolish, but I'm doing it anyway. Not only am I stacking this message against Saturday night, but there was a message I was initially going to drop Monday. But you know what? I have some things that I have to do on Monday. I can see how you all got my occupation confused. I can see that. It's quite simple how you all could have thought something that's not necessarily true. The way I talk, the way I move, and so forth and so forth. But I just have things to do on Monday, okay? Now, let's end this with a bang, shall we? Let's go to Zechariah, one of the modern books in the Old Testament, about 1,500 years old, about 1,600, no. It's about 2,500 years old, the book of Zechariah. About 2,500 years ago. Zechariah, let's go to the first chapter. Let's end this with a bang. Zechariah chapter 1, we're going to start at verse 2. Yahuwah was very angry with your ancestors. Okay? Christ is angry with the ancestors of us niggas. He was angry then, and he's angry with our ancestors now. Nothing has changed. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. Verse 3. Therefore tell the people, he's talking to Zechariah, he's telling him to tell the niggas, tell the niggas, this is what Yahuwah Almighty says. Tell you niggas, this is what I'm saying. He says, return to me. Return to me. While you have the chance. Now I added that. While you niggas have the opportunity. Now I know the sad part about this is 68% of you Negroes won't listen. You won't listen. See? Damn, girl. See, there's nothing worse than understanding and rejecting. There's nothing worse than that. That's evil. To know something and reject it is evil. It's wicked. Okay? Many of you are out here doing all types of things. Even sacrificing family members, many of you, some of you. Christ said, how can you nation of vipers, how can you escape the damnation of hellfire? How can many of you do that? The only reason why you're not taking this message seriously is because you don't believe. The same as your forefathers. Therefore tell the people, this is what Yahuwah Almighty says. Return to me, declares Yahuwah Almighty, and I will return to you, says Yahuwah Almighty. All we have to do is return to him because he's turned his face away from us. His face is Christ because it's him. He says he's hidden his face, he's hidden his form, he's hidden his glory, his esteem from us. Do not be like your ancestors. Do not be like your ancestors, to whom the early prophets proclaimed, this is what Yahuwah Almighty says. Turn from your evil ways and your evil practices. But they would not listen or pay any attention to me, declares Yahuwah. Then he's going to say, where are your ancestors now? And the prophets Do they live forever? But did not my decrees, did not my words, my law, and my decrees, which I commanded my servants, the prophets, did it not overtake your ancestors? Did the law of God not overtake all of our ancestors for believing in false gods and breaking the commandments? Did it not send us in a cycle of captivity after captivity after captivity? And many of you Negroes think that America is your friend because some of you have the money to buy a Bugatti, and some of you have the money to buy a Lamborghini, and some of you have the money to buy a mansion. And even so, even if some of you are sitting pretty on hills and grass and pastures and got little fuzzy dogs all around you all, and walk with your straw hats and your sunglasses on, and you got your Dior and you got your Versace, and you got all that bullshit, S-H-I-T. You think you the person, right? Because you can take some cloth and put it on your fleshly body. That if somebody shoots you, you're done. That if somebody burn you, you're burnt. That if somebody drown you, you drown. That if a rock fall on your head is splattered. You're nothing more than bones and blood and flesh. And many of you all think that you're high and mighty. Your little couple dollars, how long is it going to last you? Because many of you are going to go through all types of extreme to keep that little couple dollars. You are. Some of you are going to take the mark of the beast to keep it. Some of you would rather burn in hell, would rather risk burning in hell than to have people think that you're going through poverty here on this planet. I'm ready for poverty. I've already gave up half of my shit already. Many of you don't even know that. Some of you are constantly competing with me. I already gave up half my shit. Ask somebody. I'm about this life that I'm talking about. I don't give a damn about none of these material things. I don't give a damn about these cars, nothing. These clothes I'm wearing, I don't care about none of it. I promise you all. Many of you all are competing with the wind. Just like Solomon said. This all vanity. Striving after wind. Many of you all are just a visual people. You're not a spiritual people at all. And that was the problem. But it's not all your fault. It's our parents. Parents. Because they were non-believers, and so are we. He says, which I commanded my servants, the prophets, didn't all my commandments and my rulings and my decrees, did it not overtake them because they didn't follow my rulings and they didn't follow my decrees and they didn't have trust in me? Did I not send famine and the sword other nations to take you niggas and take you cats under and kick you out your land over and over and over again? But you all say we are safe in America. We're safe in Philadelphia. We're safe in New York. We're safe in Los Angeles. We're safe in Texas. We're safe in Detroit. We're safe in Chicago. We're safe in Cleveland, Ohio. We're safe in Tennessee. We're safe in all of these cities. We're safe in New Jersey. It's going to be coming a time, hey, it may not be this year, it may not be next year. Go ahead and everybody continue your everyday life. Do what you got to do to live and strive in the matrix. But soon enough, all that you hoped in, all these things that you consider your foundation is going to slip right from underneath of you. And in order for many of you to keep these things, you're going to have to take the mark of the beast. And if you take the mark of the beast, you have chosen this world over Christ. And if you choose this world over Christ, you're going to burn in hell. It's just that simple. Honor thy mother and father, honor thy mother and father. But the Spirit of Christ, as of now, is pouring out on all you niggas. And he's sending prophets to you all and apostles to you all to teach you all what's going on. He's not Christ. Who do you niggas think you are? God is not going to come down here and talk to you niggas personally. He don't even give me an audible. But he's given me the zeal and he's given me the knowledge from above, because I'm not worthy of an audible. I'm not worthy of seeing him face to face like Abraham and Moses. He's not gonna come face to face with a piece of shit like me, not yet. My rules overtook your ancestors. Then they repented and said, the Lord Almighty has done this to us, and what ways and practices he has done all this to us, what our ways and practices have deserved, just as he determined to. So it came to a point in time where even your forefathers had the balls, the nuts to say that all the things that have happened to our ancestors and our forefathers, we deserved it. All you niggas think you are is entitled to whatever the hell you want. You're not entitled to anything. None of you. The only thing that you're entitled to is death. That's it. Each and every last one of us. That's our only entitlement. Now, if Yahuwah alloweth many of you to get the things that you so-called your heart desires, then so be it. But there's an ultimate penalty when it's all said and done. And for real, you can't even really blame our parents, or our parents' parents, or our parents' parents, or our parents' parents' parents. Or can you? So you all are so foolish because your parents was foolish, and your grandparents and your great-great-grandparents.